The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Panel Swim Shop, PRAS, PrepSpin.com, Raising Cane's, Raffertys, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
And welcome into the Scholastic Ball Report. Gary Ball with the undefeated Danville Admirals coach Clay Clevenger in the studio with us. And Coach, great season. We saw you the other night on Prep Spin. You've got a fine football team.
Yeah, we've had a good year, and proud of the way our kids have worked and gotten better week in and week out, and we're just trying to figure out how we can keep it going.
Yeah, you've brought 3 seniors, right? All 3 are seniors. Big cogs in the wheel there for Danville, no doubt. I saw you play, and these 3 guys, they bring it every night, don't they?
They do. I mean, we've got a good group of seniors. There's 11 of them. But, these 3 make a lot of plays for us on both sides of the football and do a great job for us.
Our scholar athletes, one hails from Bryan Station. This young lady's an up-and-comer golfer. She's also a 4.0 student over there in the classroom. And Demarie Van Cleve, Coach, I finally got the name right. Demarie, he is one of our scholar athletes, too. Does a great job in class and on the football and baseball field there at Danville.
He does. He does. He's a talented young man and got a bright future ahead of him.
Outstanding. And, of course, we got another Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week as we head down to Nicholasville for a Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. Never know who's going to be on that, Coach. Could be anybody. I mean, it's amazing how we, Brian and Lee K, find our Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. UK Sports Medicine, Bianca Grimshaw. She was with us last week on the show. She's back with us. We're just going to expound. UK Sports Medicine, Coach, as you know, you've been on the show before. They've been our title sponsor for a long time here on the show.
Yeah, they do a great job.
They really do. All that coming up. And then the wrap, Waveney Brooks, my intern, we're going to talk about a great award she is up for. She is a Heisman candidate, Heisman All-Star Wendy's candidate for the state of Kentucky. We're going to talk about that. She's a track star and also a scholar athlete over there, and she interns here on the show. All that coming up. Plus, it's the final week of the regular season in high school football. And you know what we got here. We got the high school game time with the 2 best in the business with high school football here, brought to you by PrepSpin, the leading digital network in the state of Kentucky.
It's hard to believe that we already have reached the final weekend of the regular season high school football.
It is unbelievable how fast this season has gone, and we'll start right here with Lexington with Frederick Douglass High School. They've already locked up the number 2 seed in the postseason. The Broncos are the city champs in their first ever season as a high school. Tonight, Douglass hosting Connor over at the Farm. Connor gets the ball first to begin the second half. Broncos' Gabe Hilliard comes up with a pick. He's going the other direction. A few plays later, Montavian Bean takes the snap, rolls to his right, throws to the end zone. Watch this, great catch by Micah Lowe. Looks like a touchdown, but wait, there's an ineligible receiver downfield that is called back. That happened to Micah Lowe last week, I think. Connor got the ball back, but then fumbled it right back to Douglass, and then Nate Gray makes him pay. This time 21-3 Broncos, 28-3 the final. Douglass hosts Lafayette in the first round of the playoffs next week.
For Henry Clay, it's been an up-and-down season. The Blue Devils lost their first 3 but have since won 4 of their last 6. They'll begin postseason next week at Madison Central. But tonight, hosting Cooper. 4th and goal for Cooper. Jeremiah Lee takes the snap and looks to the right. No room over there, so back over to the left and headed towards the end zone, but gets tackled here, goes down at the 1-inch line. And Cooper gets the ball again. Retry. This time they'll get it. He looks deep to Mikey Moore, makes the catch for the touchdown, and Cooper gets on the board with 7. But the Jags had a hard time stopping the Blue Devils. Langston Jackson finds his way into the end zone for a Henry Clay touchdown. Blue Devils win it 35-7, and Henry Clay begins the postseason, like we said, at Madison Central next Friday.
And welcome back into the Scholastic Ball Report, our team of the week with my intern Waveney Brooks out of Tate's Creek. And also want to thank Bob Roberts Insurance out in Richmond, Kentucky. Bob Roberts Insurance, they insure 3/4 of this great state of Kentucky. Speaking of this great state, from Danville, Kentucky, the Admirals are here. Coach Clevenger did the opening with me. Great job on the opening, Coach. Kind of ad-libbed that, so did a great job. You know, you just completed a 10-0 regular season, first time in 23 years at Danville High School. How tough was that process of going through, especially when you got to game 8, 9, and 10 of being undefeated?
Well, I think, you know, our mindset going in is just to get better each and every day, and we try to get better daily in practice, and then with that you come 1 week at a time. Once you get on a little bit of a roll, you want to try to keep it going. And lucky for us, once we got to weeks 8, 9, and 10, that was district, and so at that point the games meant a whole lot more because it was going to have playoff ramifications.
Right.
You know, these 3 seniors, they sure do bring a lot to the game for your Admirals.
They do. They do. We have a great group of about 11 seniors, and these 3 are representing those guys tonight.
Let's talk with Mr. Walker here first. I saw you play. You're a lockdown defender, good receiver, so you got those great hands out there. You got great reactions to the football. What do you feel like is your biggest asset as a football player?
Personally, I feel like my biggest asset is probably just playing hard on both sides of the ball, even when things aren't going your way, personally and for your team. So you just always got to play with the motor and just get your teammates going.
Jaleel, so you have great hands and great size. What is going through your mind when you see the football coming?
When I see the ball coming, I know that I have to be big and I have to be physical. I know I have to put myself in the right position to be able to bring the ball down.
Demarie, I mean, you know, you play baseball. You stole 53 bases in baseball last year. You're in football. Anytime you touch it, you can take it to the house. What's more fun for you, stealing bases in baseball or taking it to the house in football?
Probably taking it to the house in football. It just feels more natural for me.
It turns on that speed, doesn't it, Coach?
Yep.
It's like he's got another gear.
You got about 2 more.
He does, doesn't he? And
yeah, Coach, you know, these 3 guys, they're a long line of talented athletes to come through Danville.
We are. I mean, we've been fortunate. We've got a great tradition, you know, and it's been good. These last few years, these seniors have been on a good roll. We went to the semis when they were sophomores. We went to the state championship game last year when they were juniors, and they've brought a lot of excitement back to our community and back into our football program. And, you know, we had a great crowd there Friday night for the LCA game, the district championship, and we hope to be able to keep that going, you know, throughout the playoffs.
Demario, I got to ask you, last year, the state championship game, right? You walked off that field kind of unfinished, so you guys probably feel like this year you got some unfinished business, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about that.
I think last year we came out a little unprepared in the state championship, but this year we've just been taking it game by day. I mean, game by game and practice by practice, just getting better at things that we didn't do last year.
Right. Well, Coach, you do a terrific job there at Danville High School. You're a former player yourself, so you know what is expected and the tradition there. You know, started back with Tom Duffy, Sam Harp, and those guys, and you know what they all the state championships say. That's why they call it Title Town over there in Danville. You know, because a lot of state championships over there.
Yeah, it is. It's you know, won our first state championship in 1962,
right.
And you know, with Coach Callahan, and then Coach Duffy won a couple. Coach Harp obviously won, I think, 7, and so we're just trying to get back to that level of play. You know, I was on the '94 team, the last one that went undefeated, and so I kind of have a taste of what that is. And some of these guys, they've got relatives that played on state championship teams.
So they know what's expected. That's right. Thank y'all for coming in. Great season. Look forward to seeing you in the playoffs and hope to see you at Kroger Field.
Yes, sir.
Because that's where the state championships are played this year,
sir.
right over here at UK. So thank you guys. The Danville Admirals, one of the top teams. As a matter of fact, #1 ranked team right now in the state in AA at 10-0. We'll be back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report, including our scholar athletes. Back into our Scholar Athletes of the Week, the most popular segment on our show for the last 15 years, because it highlights student athletes in all sports doing great things in class and on the fields and golf courses and all that. Let's start with Taylor from Bryan Station, underclassman over there. You helped start the golf program there, so congratulations for that there at Bryan Station. In your opinion, what constitutes a student athlete and why?
In my opinion, a student athlete is someone who decides
that they're going to work hard at two things, and that's academics and athletics, and you have to make sure that both of them stay balanced and that one doesn't slip because they will affect the other.
Absolutely.
So Demarie, you play football and baseball. How are you able to keep a solid GPA and still excel at both?
I think personally, me playing sports helps me maintain my grade progression and athletically on the field, so I think that it helps me in both areas.
Sure does. Taylor, how has high school golf helped you in your approach to academics, and how has academics helped you in your approach to golf?
Well, in my house, academics always comes first, and I have to keep my grades up so that I can play golf, and if I don't, then they'll take that away from me. So since golf is my favorite thing to do in the world, it just makes me and motivates me to work harder at school. And I mean, I have learned that lesson in the past, so I know that school is very, very important. So I have to just keep working hard, and then golf helps me, motivates me just to work harder at school. So.
Good answer.
So Demarie, you were the star of the game against LCA. What was your mindset going into the game with so much on the line?
We knew that LCA was a very good team last year. They beat us in districts, but third round we beat them, and we just knew that the preparation that we had to take had to be more aggressive than it was last year. And I just knew that as a team and as a player, we had to come out ready to go.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was 21-all at halftime, and then they kind of took over the second half, ended up winning 42-28 over another team that was undefeated at the time, Lexington Christian. One last question for you, Taylor, if you don't mind. You helped start the golf program there. What do you see from the younger guys? I mean, you're a young lady yourself, only being a freshman. What do you see from the other young golfers there at Bryan Station?
Well, right now we have 3 freshmen and 2 8th graders, so I would really hope that more young golfers will come in as the team gets older, but I can see that there are a lot of golfers out there in the younger grades that will come in, and I know that if we keep working at this golf team that we can be good someday, and that we can be we can excel like other teams.
Well, we're certainly going to look for you down the road and look for that progression. And real quick, do any of you have any colleges in mind or majors? I know you're young, but how about you, Demarie?
I have a few colleges in mind. I think I'm a major in something to do with music. I'm not sure of what.
Outstanding. We've got some plaques here. Waveney, both of you will receive one. Pass that down, Demarie, to Taylor. If you go over to Crown Trophy, Ryan Tyson will personalize that for you. And I think you got the McDonald's Star of the Game plaque the other night, so you got a lot of hardware. You're going to have to build another room there in Demarie Van Cleve house, aren't you? But congratulations. Congratulations, you young lady. I look for big things for you there in the Bryan Station Golf Program. Look for you in the playoffs to make a lot of noise there at Danville. Thank you all for coming on. And congratulations for your great award.
Thank you.
That's 2 of our scholar athletes, and now we're going to the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week as we head down 27 to Sutherland Chevrolet.
Time now for your Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. This is Bourbon County's Dalen Landrum going deep to Tyler White for the one-handed grab in stride. And White is off to the races for the touchdown. Take another look at it. One-handed. Pulls it in and scores the Bourbon County touchdown. However, this highlight would come in a loss to Clark County. Still, that's good enough for the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
Back into our UK Sports Medicine segment. We told you Bianca gave us great info last week about fast food and its disadvantages for athletes. Now we're going to talk about the very hot topic, energy drinks. How popular have energy drinks become with athletes?
So there was actually a study in 2010 that looked at data from 2001 until 2008 that saw an increase from 24 to 58% of energy drink intake by adolescents and athletes, which it doesn't seem like necessarily a high statistic, but if you look at 50%, like that's up there.
That is.
So there is a range, but it was interesting trying to go through some of the literature, some of the research on energy drinks and athletes and see that type of information.
Yeah, that's pretty high,
Now, what are some positive effects of caffeine?
So some people feel like their self-energy goes up, so they just feel themselves like they're more motivated. It may be a psychological thing. They feel like their heart's racing, they're ready to go. It gets them all ready.
Almost like a placebo type of thing.
It could. I mean, it does have the effects of increasing heart rate, and there are a lot of other stimulants that are included in those energy drinks, which we'll get into why they're not a good choice for athletes. But the stimulant is definitely a part of why it makes someone feel like they're able to perform better and at a higher level.
Now, if energy drinks have caffeine, wouldn't that benefit my performance?
Well, in I guess the best world, or like the ideal world, you would think so, yes. In certain stimulants, from a healthy perspective, if that was a possibility, could. But energy drinks, because they have all of those other additives, you actually don't know what you're getting, and that's the issue for athletes. Is there are a lot of banned substances on the NCAA banned substance list, and caffeine is actually one of them. It's just in moderation that you're able to intake. So if you look at athletes, if they were to take one of the drug tests by the NCAA, if they had 6 to 8 cups of coffee within a 2 to 3 hour period before performance, the drug test would actually be positive.
Right. Good stuff. Great information. Thank you for joining us back to back. We look forward to seeing you on the show. Bianca Grimshaw with UK Sports Medicine. There's their website and their phone number. They got the walk-in clinic every Monday through Friday. I believe it starts at 7 a.m.
Yes.
Is that right? Monday through Friday. And now we're going to these final highlights. It's the last week of high school football in the regular season playoffs right around the corner, brought to you by Prep Spin.
Speaking of Tates Creek, they close out the regular season at Franklin County. Franklin County's Trey Simmons looking for some running room, finds some running through the rain, and gets in for the touchdown. 6-0 Flyers in the third. Fourth quarter, Flyers up 9-0. Cam Workman, he's going to go up top to McCaleb Coffey. Look at the nice tip and catch. And that would lead to this. LaRon Warner for the touchdown. That made it 9-7. Franklin County was on top at that point, but Tates Creek comes back to win 14-9. Dunbar needing to beat Western tonight to avoid a winless season. First quarter, Western up 14-0, but ensuing kick. Nice return here by Mitchell Joseph to about midfield. That's followed up by a 10-yard pick up here by Dre Thurston, carrying a couple of tacklers with him. Same drive, second quarter, Tanner Cox. He's going to be picked off, and that's how it went tonight for the Bulldogs as Dunbar falls 41-12. Dunbar, the only school in Class 6A that's not in the playoffs.
75-28 final score. Eagles win. LCA hosts Leslie County to kick off its postseason.
Paris wins 52-32 to improve to 9-1.
Thanks to all of our great guests. Of course, the Danville Admirals, Coach Clevenger, they are undefeated, heading into the playoffs as one of the favorites, Waveney, to win the AA. Got to the state championship last year. They feel like they're on a mission this year to maybe win that, and they've got the personnel, looks like, to do that this year.
Yeah, it certainly does look like that.
You know, we got to talk about a great award that you were nominated for. You were one of the 10 finalists for the Wendy's Heisman Trophy winner, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that award and how you became one of the finalists for that.
Well, my physics teacher one day called me up in class and he was like, I want to nominate you for this thing. And I was like, what is it? And it turns out it was the Wendy's High School Heisman Award, and it looks at scholar athletes, so people who are good both on the field and in the school. And he said that my excellence over time in both has made him think I was the best candidate in the school for that.
Well, congratulations, and we're certainly honored to have you here on the Scholastic Ball Report this year as an intern along with Cole and Josie. You're doing a great job with that. And you know what? Tates Creek High School, your high school, having a terrific high school sports season so far in the fall. Tell us about that.
We're doing really well. Our soccer girls, their season just ended. They did really well. They went a lot farther than they expected, beating number 5 LCA and number 3 Henry Clay.
Right.
And
your football team's
football's doing good too.
Really good. I mean, they played Danville down to the wire.
Oh, yeah.
As always on the Scholastic Ball Report, for those you see and those you don't see.
Keep your eye on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Panel Swim Shop, P-Rats, PrepSpin.com, Raising Cane's, Raffertys, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.